me. And we are going to talk about tokens and a little bit of your businesses and how you guys are thinking about everything. So I guess first question, how are you guys thinking about a token? And maybe you could talk a little bit about, each of your businesses and, what it even means to have a token attached to your crypto startup.
Hey everyone, I'm Shri. We are building Credible. Credible is essentially a PSP just like Stripe, but we operate between US and emerging markets, and we make like same-day settlement using stable coins. I think token essentially helps us in giving ownership to people who are also building on top of Credible, what we call open payment stack, and that's the idea of offering token on Credible.
My name is Phillip, co-founder and CEO of Hurupe, Kolan right now, previously Hurupe. And we are building a crypto super app to enable people do more with their with crypto. So we started as a platform for remote workers to get dollar accounts and get paid, mostly from emerging markets. And around now, with the new branding, changing our name to Kolan is more of like trying to be able to offer them more than just receiving payments. So they can trade perps, they can access polymarket and cards and other things. So for us, I think the first thing is to be able to gain that attention. I think someone talked about it. And we looked at how Avicii performed after they launched, and their growth was really crazy. And so for us, it's more of like, how do you able to, first of all, get that attention in the market and be able to leverage that for your growth. So maybe later on, you can add things now like incentives for the community as they use your product. And of course, raising money in a way that you don't, rag users. That's how we're thinking about ownership coin and launching.
Hey, I'm Narek, aka Plish from Hylo. In brief, Hylo is pretty much a classic DeFi platform. We provide 3x leverage tokens right now on Sol, and we're launching our V2 platform on Monday that's going to enable Bitcoin, equities, leveraged carry trades, and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. We are venture backed already by Colosseum, and we had a seed round last year with Robot Ventures and Solana Ventures as well. And the way that we're thinking about token is somewhat complicated considering the existing venture backing. We love structured products. We pretty much want to ship a token that is a structured product where users can like earn yield on it and have full liquidity. We want to transfer all of the protocol revenues directly to the the owners of the coin. And so we're interested in MetaDAO just from like the futarchic governance standpoint, less so like the ICO part. So it's kind of a big thing. Airdrop is another kind of contentious piece that we should probably get into if we have time. But that's kind of the overview for us.
Hey guys, my name is Z. I'm the founder of Tapedrive, and just a little bit about what the product is before I answer your question. So we're building a distributed storage network. You can think about it like a blockchain, but for storing data. And a token for us is super important because it actually secures the network. It's a really important piece of the network for ensuring that all of the operators have the voting power that they need to change the protocol's rules. And in particular, MetaDAO is very interesting because it allows us to potentially distribute the token to a whole bunch of people that are aligned with the product's vision and goals, and ensure that there's a community that's backing the operators in a way that makes a lot more sense than just taking a cut of the tokens and selling it to someone who might not care. So
I'm curious how all of you guys think about, the right time to launch a token. How do you know when to do that? Do you launch on day 1, day 10, day 100, day 1,000? It seems somewhat discretionary. There's no clear and fast rule quite yet in crypto. Maybe it's different for everyone, but curious how each of you guys, respective to your business, are kind of thinking about when the right time is for you. We could start anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, in our case, we are on day 800 right now. approximately. And I think the way we look at it from Credible's point of view is we already found a PMF. We already, got some traction. And now we were confident that, we are ready to onboard some external investors. And from our perspective, that is the right time. We are at the growth stage and, we are giving ownership, which will help us to scale further.
I think for me, for ownership, coins are kind of different than traditional coins, where you first of all launch a coin even before you have anything, right? I think we saw someone was talking about 2017. All you needed was a PDF, and you can raise like 50 million. But for ownership coins, I think there are a couple of things that you as a founder need to have checked. First of all, you have a real business that's working. You are making some money because now, there's decision markets and people can liquidate you and all that. So I think for me, one thing is you need to be ready as a founder. Like, you know what you're getting into. You have all your numbers. You guys are growing. And so you launching now is to accelerate what's already doing well. Yeah.
For us, we came out probably in like early 24. So we came out of like the dual token equity structure days, right? Traditional DeFi, you raise, you have a safe, and then there's a warrant to the token. And so we, as like MetaDAOs evolved, and as the general like transparency around tokens and the potential of a Clarity Act has come out, our thinking has evolved around this. So we have no token out. We don't need to raise and issue the token at that time. So the way that we see this is the best time is in a moment of acceleration in revenue. As there's a lot of lift in the market generally, and also like a lift in our business, we see that as the most ideal time because it'll probably maximize the outcome and kind of lock a lot of capital in a way that like provides liquidity for our investors, for us, and gives like a really, really good instrument for the users to hold.
For us, when is the right time to launch? I guess this is a really practical one when there's no more bugs. But the reality really is, like if you were to ask the Solana team, like were they ready to launch 5 years ago? I'm sure looking back, they would have said no. There was a lot of bumps along the way, and I'm sure there will be bumps with our launch as well. But really, it's been a long year with a lot of commits, and we're finally at the point where the network is working internally. And I think really the next milestone is to shove a couple 100 terabytes through it and see how it performs. And after some good user feedback, at that point, it becomes a good idea to launch the thing.
A token launch is kind of a phase shift for a crypto startup. I'm curious what each of your biggest concerns are related to a token launch. Like, is it dealing with angry people in the Telegram? Is it managing your emotions, your team's emotions as the price is going up or down? Curious, yeah, biggest worry, something that you think about as you gear up for a token launch.
In case of Credible, we had like a points program because when we started in 2024, we took the traditional route of, and we were also finding PMF. We were more like a trade finance private credit platform. So for us, I think there's a little bit of fear in terms of how the community will react because there are going to be no airdrops. We are planning to do something else for the community, but I think that's the very specific to Credible in terms of the points that people are holding, and we are not giving them any tokens away. So yeah.
I think for me now it's all about it's now you have a token and you also have your business. So how do you balance the two? And because of the whole MetaDAO and ownership coins, you have people now keeping you accountable. And as we know, for holders, it's all about are they getting are they seeing value as your business grows, right? Because if you're not performing well, then the token is not maybe appreciating. And so for them, they start like giving you that pressure, online on Telegram. But I think if you are able to focus and on your business and also keep your community updated every time, I think you can be able to kind of balance the pressure and not be so afraid of maybe them liquidating you. Because I do believe like it will likely happen when you're not sending any communication, when the business is not growing and you guys are not like grinding, then that's the time now you should be afraid, honestly, because you know, you have people keeping you accountable and they can liquidate you.
My fear is basically like the Russ Hanneman quote in Silicon Valley, where he's like, Richard, don't tell him you have revenue because you'll tell him a number and it's not enough. With kind of ownership coins and like launching something where revenues are priced in and future revenues are priced into a token, our fear is like fundamental value, right? When you price in like risk and volatility in that revenue, that the overall market cap and the FDV come down. And so it's like, how do you get like a good price to sales multiple? Like that's kind of the biggest thing for me. How do you prove that there is an upside beyond like the objective state of the protocol now?
So my biggest worry is, as a protocol, you have a lot of node operators that have real costs and voting power as well. So if you're allowing people to change the market cap of the total the total token supply, it affects the voting powers. It affects, you know, potentially the node operators' costs and their ability to purchase new hardware downstream. And as we've seen with storage over the last year, everything has kind of increased in price, and it's something to be very mindful of. And additionally, I don't think we've ever seen something like this, so it would be a really good test of MetaDAO. I don't think like a blockchain or an L2 or anything like that has launched on this. And with some of the talks that came earlier, I think they're right that we probably need to shove like a variety of different things at this and see what happens. So
Z, you kind of touched on this at the end there a little bit, but I'd be curious to hear about each of your kind of personal evolutions with understanding MetaDAO. I know for most people, when they kind of first encounter the idea, they think it's absolutely crazy, you know, giving token holders the power to potentially liquidate a project, especially from the founder's perspective. It could feel like you're giving up a lot of autonomy and control over something that, you know, you've dedicated your lives to. But, you know, as each of you has gotten to know Profit and Kolan and maybe, you know, understood MetaDAO and even been here and taken in some of the content, curious to hear a little bit about each of your personal evolutions.
Yeah, I mean, for me, initially we thought like, how is it different from securities? You know, like what is the thin line between securities and ownership coin? And that's where the bit of a confusion was there. Uh, Other than this, I think in general, like the governance mechanism of MetaDAO is very mature compared to what we have seen in other DAOs in the past. I have been part of a couple of DAO launches in the past, and we have seen, you know, the communities not fully understanding and, you know, participating on things which are not, you know, like very right for the product or the project. Whereas in MetaDAO, I have seen like most of the decisioning, whether it is Ranger or whether it is, you know, like other things, the community is very mature. They are not like hypersensitive. So I think that actually builds confidence for us. So these are some of the points that you know, we learned over time. Yeah.
Um, I think for me, the first time I talked to Prophet, I was, you know, I thought it's no more ICOs, like the traditional ICOs. And my first fear was it might kill the business, as we've seen in the past, where most of the, I think right now in crypto, 80%, if not more than that, of the businesses that launch tokens kind of died, because when the token goes down, it kind of kills everything. And also when you launch a token, traditionally it becomes like the main thing. Now there's the business, but then now there's trying to keep the token, you know, going up. And with all the new tokens coming to, you know, being minted and all that, you're trying to balance so much. And then there's also the aspect of so many token launching, like especially when meme coins came up. And so it's so hard for you to differentiate yourself and trying to tell someone to hold your token, right? And also there is the idea of, some companies still kept the equity side of it and also the token part of it. And so when, big VCs come in, maybe they get the equity side of it and then the community is left with the token that has no value. And so there was that whole idea and fear. And then, as I talked to Prophet more, I got to understand what actually ownership coins means, where they are not two sides. There's not you having a token and also having equity. You just go all in once, or like you choose one. And that means everyone is on the same page. So if you are winning as a founder, as insiders, so does the community, right? And then there's there's also the aspect of governance where, as far as you have someone keeping you accountable, then honestly, you as founders, you have like that incentive to keep working. And so over time, that kind of boosts your morale, and also you have to keep going. And apart from that, there's also us watching like how the other tokens have performed. I think right now, generally, most ownership tokens have performed better than the rest of the rest of the tokens, and that have kind of increased my belief in that, to launch an ownership token.
Yeah, so my journey with MetaDAO is like from the elegant standpoint, right? Like while Profit was undoxed and it was just the meta token. Then I voted in a bunch of the Sanctum governance votes. And then the ICO wave kind of changed my opinion. I went kind of skeptical during that time. And I think I met Profit like after one or two of the initial ICOs. And I think it's mostly because you go from the elegant construction to like the messy reality of like founders and founder behavior and what they do with the money, and kind of just bringing it to the real market, and also testing the patience of token buyers versus like a venture-backed company, which is like what a lot of these are supposed to be. And so I've gone through like cycles of belief and disbelief. What I do still believe in is very much the governance part. The structure part is where I probably have my specific like qualms.
For me, yeah, I met him a little bit before he was undoxed, and I'm trying to remember now, but I was at a table. He was coding away, and he was looking for a math library, and I was like, I worked on a library, so like, why don't you use my library? And what impressed me was just how technical and deep he was on this, like how knowledgeable he was, and started to tell me about what he was working on. And I was just like, dude, I don't understand. But he gave a talk later, and it really resonated with me, and I immediately understood, like, okay, this is a really cool way to make sure that you're distributing tokens to a whole bunch of like really view aligned people. So yeah, it's kind of been in the back of my head as like a really interesting possibility.
Thank you guys. My final question was going to be when token, but I won't do that to you guys. I guess in Shree's case, we actually do know when token. Maybe we could just remind the audience.
Yeah, so our MetaDAO ICO is on Monday. I'm super excited about it. Mixed feelings. But the good part is like, I think to give you guys a quick recap on what Credible is and what raise we are doing and everything. Credible is a payment service provider, just like Stripe. We work between US and emerging corridors. We enable US businesses to collect payments from these emerging markets and get settled instantly using stablecoins. So that's what the value prop is. We have done close to $800 million in volume. We have done around $1.6 million in revenue in last 8 months. And we are raising between 2 million to 4 million. And our capped valuation is 9 million. We have almost 50% commits from funds, and 50% is open for public participation. Yeah.
Let's give these guys a big hand.